All right, so just wanted to give you an update. Today, finally, the film arrived in Atlanta at the place that's gonna hopefully be able to develop my father's 2 rolls of film, ECN2 processing. It took, like, this whole process has been amazing, you know? Like, it took over a week for the film to get there from New York to Georgia. Like, why does it take over a week? You know, I started to think it got lost. I was getting all these texts from, you know, the USPS. Finally got there. So now we'll see what happens. And for those who don't know, if you're seeing this for the first time and you haven't seen the other videos, my father passed away in 1988, and I found his camera bag because my father was a photographer in World War II, and he loved photography. He just kept doing it as his life went on. And I wasn't interested in that at all at that time. I was in the music business when he died. And, you know, my life took a lot of twists and turns, and I wound up in the theater world, and then I wound up a filmmaker after the pandemic. And suddenly I went back to that camera bag and I found his camera, but I also found 2 rolls of film. And I became like really curious. And actually, I just shot an entire feature film with 2 lenses that I found in that bag as well. And so it's been quite the journey, you know, with kind of reconnecting with my father after he passed. He, you know, had no idea that I'd be interested in filmmaking, or cameras would be such an important part of my life, and that I would have any interest whatsoever in using his lenses and really even caring what was on that film, because he and I didn't have the greatest relationship most of my life until the end of his life when he got sick, and I've talked about this in other videos, but we were able to heal and make amends with a lot of stuff, and he forgave me for pretty much being an asshole most of my life to him. So anyway, these are all long stories that I've told already, but now I'm like really kind of nervous, you know, like what's on that film, and hopefully there's something on that film. The other thing I did today was I went to this place called Specialtyphoto, which is a place in Pelham, New York. There's a guy named Jay who runs that place, who is pretty much the only person I allow to touch my camera gear. Like if I have a problem or if I need something cleaned or whatever, I go to him. I mean, not only is he a great technician with cameras and lenses and stuff like that, but he's also incredibly honest and fair. And, you know, always a very, very reasonable price. And every time I've had something done there, he's done it correctly the first time. Like I haven't had to go back. I actually bought the lens I'm shooting with right now is a Minolta 35mm RAW core f2.8 lens. It's an old vintage lens. And when I got it, it was completely broken. It was a mess, like nothing worked. It was just, you know, trash. And I bought it on eBay, so I took it to him, and he fixed the whole thing for me for, I believe, wow, there's all these nets out here. I believe he fixed it for $100 or something like that. And just as a side note, the guy who sold it to me from eBay was very fair. He refunded my money. So anyway, Jay has done that. He's cleaned my camera for me. He actually, when I found these lenses in my father's camera bag, I took them to him. 28mm Minolta and a 50mm Minolta, RAW core 50, and the 28 is called a Telesur. Obviously, they're also vintage lenses. And he, you know, cleaned them up for me. There was fungus in one of them. He cleaned that out for me. He fixed the focus ring on one. Like he's done a lot of great work for me. So if you ever need that kind of work and you're anywhere near the New York City metropolitan area, go to Specialtyphoto. I'll put a link in the description. Jay's a great guy. No nonsense, no bullshit. Just come in, tell him what's wrong. He takes your stuff, goes in the back, fixes it, comes out, tells you how much it costs. And you'll pay him because it's fair and you know that it's going to be right. So, I digress. I'm really nervous right now. I'm a little hopeful, I guess, that it's going to be something like illuminating about my father that I didn't know, something interesting, even if it's something boring. I just want to see, you know, I don't think that the stuff on that film is from 1988. I think it's pretty, you know, probably pretty far before that. My father had been sick for probably about 6 months before he died, maybe about a year. And I don't think he even touched his camera for quite a long time before that. I mean, he probably hadn't touched that camera since the late 70s, maybe the early 80s or something like that. But I don't know for sure, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not positive. So we'll see what happens. So I'm going to keep this short. I just wanted to update you on that. Oh, the other thing is, it looks like I am going to be buying a new camera for my next project. I'll just include this in this video as well. I just finished a project. I did a feature film with 2 of my father's lenses, actually. And this camera, the Panasonic S5, which is an incredible camera. Like, the images you get out of this camera are like cinema camera level. Arri Alexa, red, like, it looks incredible. The dynamic range, the highlight roll off, like all of it. I don't use autofocus, so I don't care about that. So don't, you know, sit there watching this going, yeah, but the autofocus sucks. Like, yeah, it sucks. And it actually doesn't suck, really. You know, for stuff like this, it's fine. I mean, right now I'm manually focusing myself. I only have one autofocus lens. But anyway, I shot a feature film, and you know, the Panasonic S5, the only downside, like a lot of mirrorless cameras, it only shoots in 23.976 frames per second. And to get a DCP, which is a digital cinema package, to be able to have a theatrical showing of your film or be included in major festivals where they do theatrical showings, your camera should really shoot 24 frames per second, like straight 24, not 23.976. So can I get a DCP? Yes, but it's a workaround. The sound of my voice is going to be somewhat altered because they have to sync the audio with the video, and you know, DCPs are made at 24, so they have to, like, you know, slow down, no, speed up the, well, either speed up or slow down. I don't know right now, but they have to do something with the audio. And if there's a lot of dialogue, obviously it's going to alter the sound. And so, and also if you do a lot of like really intricate edits and stuff like that, you might just slightly miss certain things. And the bottom line is, if you are thinking that you're going to have a theatrical release with your film, when you start, this should be a part of your pre-production. And you should make sure that you have a camera that shoots straight 24 FPS, period. So I'm about to upgrade to a Panasonic S1H. The other thing that I'm going to have in the S1H is an optical low-pass filter, so I won't have to worry about any moire, which has only shown up twice in the 2 years that I've used this camera. So I don't know if it's really that big of a deal. I've heard that on the S5 II and the S5 IIX there is quite a problem with moire because the sensors are much sharper than this one, supposedly, because I guess to have phase detect autofocus, they had to make the sensor sharper than the original S5. I'm just kind of speaking off what I've seen on YouTube now. I don't know if this is a fact, but I have read a lot and seen a lot of videos about people complaining that the image quality is too sharp on the S5 II and the 2X. I mean, I've also seen a ton of videos saying it's incredible, it looks great, so who knows. But I know that I love the original S5, and now for any major project that I'm going to do, like something that I think is going to wind up in a theater, I'm going to use the S1H. I might use this maybe for a second camera or B-roll or something like that, as long as everything that I shoot with this camera doesn't have any dialogue in it or any important sound. But I'll probably just shoot the whole thing with the S1H, because why tempt fate? You know what I mean? Straight 24. And you know, the ironic thing is that if I was like hired by HBO or Showtime or Stars Network or something like that to do a project, this camera would be fine because it's for online, you know. I would just have to give them a high quality file, like a ProRes file. I could shoot 6K in this camera externally. I could certainly shoot high level 4K in this, you know, C4K, like it would be no problem. The only issue is for theatrical release, which is crazy when you think about it. So anyway, I'll let you know as soon as I hear about this film. I've been talking about this now for over a year, believe it or not. I have found one store in the entire United States of America that can develop ECN2 film. So, and just to give you a background again, if you haven't watched this, ECN2 is this old film that was movie film that was repurposed for photography in the 60s that was so rare. It was just really cheap. It's not rare because it was so awesome. It was cheap, but it was rare, and nobody has the chemicals or whatever machine or whatever you need to develop it. Nobody in this country has it, anywhere. Like I found one place in Canada and a place like in Japan, I think, or something like that. So we'll see what happens. So I'm here in my favorite place up in this area in Poughkeepsie. That's the pedestrian bridge behind me. The Mid-Hudson Bridge is right there. This is the Hudson River. I love the Hudson River. And now I'm just talking and extending the video. I'm going to stop now. So thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe. Please hit the like button. I would greatly appreciate that. And as soon as I hear something, I'll get back to you. All right? That's it for today. Thanks. Oh man, thank God you're still here. Yo, I got so caught up in talking about my father's film and finally getting it developed and all that, that I forgot to tell you that the reason I went to Specialty Photo to see Jay was because I wanted to see if he could bring back to life my father's Minolta XE-1 film camera. It's trashed, you know, it's horrible, it's in bad shape, none of the buttons work, nothing works, and it's a film camera, and I'm interested in having a film camera for photography, and I figured if anybody could fix it, it would be Jay, and actually he could fix it, but it was going to cost too much money. And like I said earlier, I need to get a new camera for my filmmaking because of 24 frames per second, so I need every penny for that right now. So this is going to remain on my mantle as a memory of my father and the connection that we didn't even know we had, but now we have, but he's gone. And so anyway, I'll leave it up there. You know, it's not a big deal. And maybe in the future, I'll probably just get a different film camera, you know, but yeah, I can't believe I forgot to tell you that. You know, like I got all caught up with this stuff, and I tell you this whole thing about Jay, and then I don't even tell you why I go there, but now you know. So anyway, thanks a lot, and thanks for hanging around, so I got to clear that up. So we'll speak soon. All right? Have a good day. Yeah.